Today, Olivia and I are going to be taking a look at the brand new Blackmagic 6K Pocket Cinema Camera.
We'll be looking at the similarities and differences between the 4K and the 6K. We'll also be looking at some key features of the 6K and sharing our final thoughts on whether we think you should go for the 6K or save money and go for the 4K Pocket Cinema instead. Starting off with the similarities, besides the lens mount, they both have the same carbon fiber bodies. They also have the same buttons and layouts as well as ports and doors. They also both come with the same Canon LPE6 battery and have the same 5-inch touchscreen. Just like the 4K, the 6K also has dual ISO.
Moving on to the differences between the 6K versus the 4K. It now uses a brand new Super 35mm sensor, which in fact is only a little bit bigger than the Micro Four Thirds sensor. It also now shoots 6K video at 6144 by 3456 pixels, up to 50 frames per second in Blackmagic RAW. It also does 2.8K at 120 FPS, also in Blackmagic RAW. And it now has a brand new EF mount, so if you have all your Canon lenses, you'll be able to use them with the 6K.
Starting off with the cons, the buttons and dials do feel slightly weak in comparison to other cameras. I also found the doors to access the ports quite fiddly. Blackmagic states that the 4K camera will run for around 60 minutes, whereas the 6K will only run for about 45 minutes, so I do recommend that you grab a couple of extra batteries. Also, B-RAW is currently not natively compatible with Premiere, so you will need to purchase an extra plugin, but hopefully this is fixed in the future.
Moving on to the pros, you now get 6K at 50 frames per second, which is cool because as we are moving further and further into the future and 4K is becoming the norm, you're able to actually reframe your image, but not only that, you're able to downsample your 6K footage to a 4K image, making it even sharper. In addition, the added 120 frames in 2.8K is a bonus, although it is cropped. Shooting with the Blackmagic 6K Pocket Cinema Camera, I noticed that it didn't have a flip screen or image stabilization. So I feel like this is geared more towards the professional, as you'll need a few more accessories to shoot comfortably.
So taking a look at the Blackmagic footage, I'm really impressed with how well it handles at low light. I've been pushing a lot of things even in post because I shot RAW to 6400 and it's doing pretty well. Now, something to keep in mind is that when you're shooting RAW, it does chew up a lot more space, but also it is a lot more taxing on your computer, so make sure you have a good computer. This is more leaning on my note when I said this camera is geared more towards a professional user, as you might need a few extra bits and pieces. Now the footage itself, shooting 6K is really cool how much you can actually crop, and even with 100 frames, I can see this really being useful for a lot of sports shooters. However, I would recommend getting a wide lens as it does crop in quite a bit.
If you're tossing up between the two, for the price point, the 4K goes unmatched. You still get the 4K resolution up to 50 frames per second, dual ISO, as well as the ability to adapt many lenses to it. As for the 6K, you no longer need an adapter for your Canon lenses. You get the full 6K resolution, a bigger sensor, as well as the addition of a couple extra frame rate options.
If you have any questions on the Blackmagic 6K Pocket Cinema Camera, pop them in the comments below, as well as if you liked Olivia being on the show, pop them down there as well. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and every other social media channel to stay up to date with what's going on, and hit the like button and the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya. Oh, I see you was so weird.